Of course, it is the story of the little boy who fell in the manhole. We know that the mayor, Mpho Phalatse, the Joburg mayor, is visiting the area. Linda Kuhle joins us now. So, Linda, we understand that she's about to speak to the media.
For social development, as well as the MD from Johannesburg Water. The executive mayor will deliver a short statement just to relay the briefing that we received from EMS, as well as what interactions we had with the family, as well as the response from the office of the executive mayor. Executive Mayor.
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, another very tragic incident. A 6-year-old boy. It's really painful to see. We came down because we wanted to firstly understand what happened. We wanted to understand what can be done better to prevent this sort of thing happening again. But of course, we're also concerned about the ongoing search and rescue operation. We want to ensure that the child is found. We've got both Joburg Water and EMS search and rescue on the ground around the clock. They've assured us they've not stopped looking, and they will not stop looking until he's found. We went as far as the plant to see where the possibilities are of where he could be stuck. The MD for Joburg Water is also here with us, and he's assured us that they've even diverted the flow to make it easier to enter in some of the spaces. They're busy now unblocking the blockage where we suspect he might be stuck. So that work is ongoing. We've also engaged with the community here in terms of the manhole that's been left open to find out what happened there. It looks like there was theft and vandalism, which we experienced citywide. As you know, a lot of our manhole covers do have some metal that has some street value, and it attracts thieves and vandals, unfortunately. Joburg Water tells us there's about 1.3 million manholes in the whole city of Johannesburg, spanning our entire 12,000-kilometer sewer system. As much as we do our own inspections, we also rely on communities to report when there's manhole covers that are missing. And the community here claims that those manhole covers were reported. However, the system that Joburg Water uses does not have these reports. We will be investigating to find out who they were reported to. Perhaps they were reported to an individual who did not pass on the information. So we need to find out where those weaknesses in communication are. We have spoken with the MMC and the MD that we potentially need to do an awareness campaign to inform and educate residents on how they can assist the city to identify manhole covers that have been stolen, vandalized, given the huge amount and the capacity that we have in the city. So that's something that we hope to improve going forward, and we will investigate in this particular case as to how that report was done and where the problem was. As of now, the manhole where this happened has been covered. The community has shown us another one. The MD for Joburg Water has assured us that tonight it will be secured and tomorrow morning construction will happen. We're using alternative means to close the manholes. We're avoiding metal because of the street value that causes these kinds of occurrences. We are concerned about the safety of our children. Interventions from the city. I'm here with the 3 MMCs. So MMC for public safety is responsible for EMS search and rescue operations. He will ensure that operations continue until the child is found. The MMC for public safety is for EISD, or environment and infrastructure, is responsible for Joburg Water, who are also now busy unblocking where it's blocked and diverting flow where necessary, and he will also ensure that those operations continue until the child is found. We're here also with the MMC for health and social development. MMC Ashley Sol's the first. Social development has already been in touch. They've done an assessment. They will be assisting the family. Our social workers are on standby for whatever needs the family has, and we've given the family assurance that we will be able to support them until the child is found. So there is tremendous support from the city side. We're part of this. This has affected us equally. This is our child. This is an innocent 6-year-old that was just playing.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. We'll take a handful of questions. State your name, organization that you represent and who your question is directed at. Yes, sir.
eNCA. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mayor. First of all, you were talking about the fact that there is a street value in terms of some of the manholes and the material that it's built on. You're saying that you are changing that particular approach. Is this going to be an overhaul in terms of all of the 1.3 plus manholes? And also just talk to us about your interaction with the family. You're saying that there is intervention, but what is their sentiment around all of this, as well as talk to us about the vandalism that we are seeing. That particular park, you can see it's worse for wear in terms of the condition it's in. Some community members have considered that this is because of vandalism in the area and theft. But how are we guarding against such things, as we move along, as we try to fix some of the things?
We do need a whole of society approach. I mean, speaking to the community members, they saw some adults that were hanging around. They suspect they're the ones who stole the manhole cover. So it does look like we need to work more closely with the community. Of course, there are efforts. As you know, theft and vandalism of infrastructure has been very high on our agenda. Our electricity infrastructure has also been affected by this. And various other parts of our infrastructure as well. We're working very closely with the SAPS, particularly the Provincial Commissioner, Commissioner Mawela. We're working with the Minister of Police, Minister Beki Cele, as well as the National SAPS Commissioner, the Hawks, the State Security Agency, and locally we're working with the JMPD and the Group Forensic and Investigation Services Unit. So those operations continue. We've got joint ops on an ongoing basis. Yes, we want to bring the community closer to what is happening because they're integral to the solution, so that work will continue. In terms of our interactions with the family wants closure. The father says, I've accepted that it's unlikely that my child will come out alive. However, I want to get the body, and I want the assurance that you will do everything in your power to make sure that that body is found. And we did give him the assurance that we will not stop. And being on the ground with our officials, they also gave us the assurance they will not stop looking until we find him.
Material of the manhole overhaul, that was not answered, yes.
Yes, so Joburg Water is using a cement-based composite now as opposed to metal, and this is to reduce the need or reduce the demand for our manhole covers. In terms of an overhaul, it will be incremental over time, focusing on areas where we need to replace missing or stolen manholes, but it will happen incrementally. But like I said, we need to strengthen our links with communities so that where there has been theft and vandalism, communities know how to report and that information is not missing, that communication link is not broken.
Question at the back there.
Mayor Khayalethu from Kaya FM. We saw a similar case last year in Orange Farm and Everton, where a child was found also to have fallen in a sewer hole. And one of the issues that the community members have raised here is that there's a park that's right next to the open sewer holes. So in terms of town planning or the planning of the space, is there going to be intervention to ensure that at least where kids play, these sewer holes are not even nearby where they are?
One of the things that Joburg Water is looking at doing, and they're busy with the pilot, is installing sensors where if there is any form of tampering with manhole covers, they can pick it up. However, it's a very expensive intervention which we cannot afford to roll out to all 1.3 million manholes that we have. But critical areas will be identified. And what you're saying would be one such area where there's a risk of a child falling into the manhole, for instance. Those are the areas that will be prioritized. As we speak, the pilot involves 10 such installations, and Joburg Water will report back as soon as we have more information on that.
I'll take one more question. Sorry, the question is coming here.
Mayor Maschava Sufularo from Eyewitness News. You did mention how expensive it would be to, bring about those kind of interventions. And interventions such as this one, where the operation to find the young boy's body is undesirable but necessary, as you say. It is quite resource intensive in terms of the manpower and the equipment that is brought out here. It's day 3, even though the boy's been missing for 4 days, and there's still no sign of him. You have said that they will not, the officials on the ground will not stop until the child is found. Is this a commitment from the city that however long it takes, however expensive this operation is going to continue to be, you will not stop until this boy is found? I just want clarity on that, because you say it, but it's not a cheap operation.
We've had that commitment from both Joburg Water and EMS Search and Rescue that they will not stop until we find the body. We have a suspicion of where it might be stuck. We are busy now unblocking that area. We were there earlier on today to see that that operation is ongoing, and we believe that we suspect, and even the father incidentally said that's where he suspects that he is stuck. So we're really hopeful that following these operations we will be able to recover him.
One last question.
Mayor, my name is Priya from Soweto Times newspaper. Has there been counsellors brought in to help the family? Because right now they are very traumatized, and also probably the kids that were playing with this child. Has there been counsellors that are going to assist the school, including the parents?
So yes, that's one of the discussions we had, in fact, with the family. The MMC for Social Development is here, and he gave us the assurance that there has been an assessment done already. So some needs have been already assessed and identified. However, the need for counselling will also be met. Our social workers are on standby. As soon as the family and the children involved are ready, that counselling will be provided.
Just before you make closing remarks, there have been some untrue reports around the covering of the manhole as it being a cover-up. In fact, the Joburg Water officials as well as EMS had conducted their work on that particular manhole, and subsequent to that, in consultation with SAPS, the manhole was covered for safety and because they'd completed the investigation at that particular point. I think it's very important that we report accurately about what is happening here. It's a very emotionally charged situation, and it's incumbent upon the media to please report accurately. Mayor?
As a city, we just want to assure our residents this is a very tragic incident. It should not have to happen again. We are intent to work with our communities to ensure that we prevent such occurrences going forward, and we will communicate transparently so that our communities understand our challenges, our resource constraints, and where they're able to assist the city, they're able to do so.
Thank you very much, colleagues.
All right. Thank you so much, Sally. That is the briefing from the Johannesburg or City of Johannesburg Mayor, just in terms of her interaction today with the emergency management services going around to where the operations are currently happening. She says that they will not stop until they recover the body of the 6-year-old who at this stage is assumed to have passed away because he fell into that manhole. But more so, we understand that the family has been offered some support, including psychological support at this stage as they wait on for the news of the search and the recovery processes that are currently taking place. But the mayor is also speaking about the fact that out of the 1.3 million manholes in and around the country, there is a problem in terms of, in the city of Johannesburg, there is a problem in terms of the material that they use to close those manholes, and they're saying that gradually they will be changing some of the material that is easy to sell for people that will be vandalizing these things. So that is the update we are getting at this stage, and the mayor says that one of the things they've promised their family is that the search as well as the recovery processes, the recovery mission will not stop until they find the 6-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely, Linda. And it was really important what the mayor said, reiterating that commitment that they are not going to stop. The family, of course, have accepted that little Khayalethu Magadla has died in that manhole. Interesting what she said is that they think they've located where his body might be. And I saw earlier this afternoon you were at an area where there's a confluence of the various pipelines. Is that where they think his body might have lodged? And is that going to be the focus of the operations tomorrow?
That's right, Sally. We spoke to Robert Mulaudzi as well, who told us and confirmed that those search and recovery processes have been halted for the moment. They are going to continue tomorrow, but they are of the belief, because they started at this very place, the park where the 6-year-old fell in, to say that they wanted to check thoroughly if he's not along the pipeline. They have been able to do that with the help of Johannesburg Water. Johannesburg Water, of course, helping them in terms of diverting the traffic of water away from some of these pipes and the network that they believe he was in. So what they believe now is that where the water kind of converges from all over Soweto here by Klipspruit West Cemetery, that is where they believe now the body will be. But what was happening as far as the process is concerned today was that they were trying to drain and they were trying to do away with some of the issues of pollution around that area. They are focusing their energies, they are focusing their resources on that particular area, and they believe that if they continue with this search as well as some of those processes that I've just explained, they will then be able to recover the body of the 6-year-old. And this is a belief again, Sally, because nothing has been confirmed at this stage, but it is believed that after such a long time, from Sunday, tomorrow will be Thursday, so 4-5 days after the incident, they are believing that he might not be found alive. They have conscientized the family as far as that is concerned, but at this stage they are saying that they'll only be able to confirm once their operations, once their search efforts are concluded. But they will only be concluded when they actually find something, and they're saying again they will not stop until they do.
Well, it's a grim business, but that commitment's so crucial for that family. Thank you very much for that important update. That is our reporter Linda in Soweto. And you heard what the mayor said about these manhole covers. They get stolen if they're made of metal by the scrap merchants. They now are looking at concrete covers, but those too, of course, can be moved. And she mentioned that they're investigating putting sensors that will assess if a manhole cover is tampered with. You know, it strikes me this is a problem, and we've seen this is not the first child to have fallen down a manhole. You heard mention of that child last year in Orange Farm who fell down a manhole and their body was recovered in Everton a few days later. This has to be the last incident like this. It strikes me this is an opportunity for someone with a great inventive mind to come up with a way to cover these manholes safely so that children cannot fall in ever again. Now there's a challenge for an inventive mind.